Toastmasters, and honored guests. The invisible thief. Think of this as a loss prevention activity tonight. My goal is to make you aware of an insidious, invisible thief that could rob you of your life, your possessions, and your family. What I'm going to do is point out where this thief lurks, what his tactics are, and what you can do to prevent it. We're going to start with a story. I'm going to chronicle, used to be written here, I'm going to chronicle Wyatt's story. Wyatt is a strapping high school kid in Minnesota, just graduated high school. He's a motocross fan, and he qualified for the national tournament in 2015 down in Hollow Hills, Tennessee. His whole family and friends from all around the area were going down to be with him for the competition because it's a really big deal. Wyatt was able to take his family's motorhome and drive down ahead of the family with all his gear, and his mom and dad and brothers and sisters were coming down on the day before the race to support him. He arrived safely in Tennessee. The RV operated the whole time. He got in. It was very crowded. There were buses and RVs all over the place. But he found his little spot. It was down in a hollow, and he was all set. He relaxed on Saturday night, kicked back, I'm finally here, I'm going to compete tomorrow. And then he started feeling sick. And it must have been something I ate on the road. Those 2 hamburgers must be doing a number on me. And he went off and went to bed. The next morning, his parents and family flew down. They started calling him up. He was supposed to meet them at the airport. He didn't answer. And it was not like him at all. What could be wrong? His family got a ride to the field where this event was taking place. And Wyatt was in the camper, non-responsive. What could it be? Ambulance was called. Family, friends, everybody rushed to the hospital. It was hours before they figured out what was wrong. I'm thinking to myself, teenage kid, gotta be drugs. Opiates, that's a big problem in the world today, right? No, it was carbon monoxide poisoning. And Wyatt was one of the victims that suffer from this. According to the CDC, 500,000 people a year report incidents of carbon monoxide poisoning, and 500 of those die. I'm going to teach you a little bit about carbon monoxide. I know I'm not supposed to turn my back to you, but please forgive me. Why? How could this happen? When he was taken to the hospital, he only had 16% oxygen in his system. He was near death. The hospital personnel, seeing so many of his friends and family there, they called his support system Wyatt's Warriors. He had to fight back. What happens in carbon monoxide poisoning is combustible fuel like gas, oil, or wood isn't fully combusted. Partial oxidation, incomplete fuel combustion causes the output of carbon monoxide. The next thing that happens medically, what did that do to him? What happens, many of you have some medical background. The way our oxygen gets from our lungs to our brain and all the rest of our body is a little thing called hemoglobin. And hemoglobin looks like a donut with a little mesh in there. and it picks up the oxygen from the lungs and it delivers it to the brain or the feet or wherever it needs to go. Well, what happens is when this partially oxidated fuel gets in your system, a chemical reaction happens, and carboxyhemoglobin is what it's called, and it prevents the oxygen from riding on the hemoglobin, so it prevents delivery. That's why his oxygen level was at 16%. So, what I need you to know, now his family, so he's still in the hospital here, but what I want you to know is I want you to know what his friends and his family didn't know. Where do these things happen? The danger zones can be at home, at work, or at play. At home, mainly up north, places that have furnaces operating on oil, gas, wood, coal. At work could be a forklift or machinery or gas blowers, anything that is powered by oil or gas, tractors. At play, like Wyatt was. He was in an RV, but it's any place. Motorboat, fireplace, quads. Anything where the gas gets trapped and the person inhales it. Okay, so Wyatt was still in the hospital. He was in the hospital down in Tennessee for about a month before he was shipped up to Mayo Clinic, where he spent a few more months. The next thing I want to give you, I want you to be aware of what the symptoms are. So if any of these things start happening, you put two and two together. I am in a danger zone and I'm feeling some of these symptoms. The symptoms start with headache, blurry vision, nausea, vomiting. You get dizzy, you get confused, you get sleepy. All of these things are phase 1. If that's not bad enough, phase 2, which is where Wyatt is, retinal hemorrhage. That carbon monoxide affects your eyes. Chest pain, memory loss, brain damage, coma, and lastly, death. So we left Ryan in the hospital, but let me tell you, it has a happy ending. It's been a year. Wyatt is still struggling with his vision. He had to change his career plans. Instead of going to college, he's going to a technical school. But he is up and alive, and his family support made all the difference. In conclusion, don't let the invisible thief rob you or your family. Be aware of the danger zones, be aware of the symptoms, and raise your voice, speak up. If you see a circumstance that might be dangerous, if any of his friends or anybody would have known to clue him in. And again, he's a young man, but knowing the danger signs, knowing the danger will help you prevent your friends or yourself from being robbed of your memory, your mind, or your life by the invisible thief. Mr. Toastmaster.